I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on today's call. Today, I want to talk about the important topic of helping our clients with their business transition. If you think about planning for the future transition of the business, it's going to protect the business, it's going to protect the business owners, and it's going to protect the employees. So this is something that we really need to focus on with our business owner clients. If you fail to plan for that business transition, it's going to be, a significant cost, loss of value, potentially loss of retirement income. So the downside can be pretty dramatic. If you think about this transition, 100% of business owners are going to exit their business. So all of our closely held businesses, that business ownership has to transfer to somebody at some point in the future. 50% of those transitions are going to be forced exits. They're involuntary. So no planning was done. They're forced out. Now what? And as you think about that, that's going to create extra problems. 80 to 90% of owners feel trapped in their company. They want to move on. It's time of their life to move on. It's their passions moved, but they feel stuck. They don't know what to do with their business. 60% of those owners don't understand their options. That's our job as advisors, is to provide those options so our business owners know what they can do. 80% have not engaged with or formed a transition team. There again, if they don't know their options, they don't know how to form that team. What we want to do as advisors is bring that team to our clients and help them understand what those options are so they can move forward. 75% of owners, that have sold their business regret selling it 1 year after. There again, they didn't plan for their transition. They sold the business. Now what? That business was such a big part of their life. It's buyer's regret. In this case, seller's regret. 40% of owners want to sell within the next 5 years. There again, this is a large opportunity for us to grow our business, especially in the business transition area. But again, it's a great way to help those clients that we can work with. So let's talk about what are the 5 Ds of an unplanned business exit. These are those things that could happen that we really need to be aware of. The first one's probably the easiest one to discuss. There again, not easy for our clients, but a death. If death happens, think about this. If you have two owners of the business, 50-50, and one of those owners dies, what's going to happen to the business? Does it pass on to the deceased owner's spouse or heirs? Does it pass on to the other business owner? Does that value just get lost and is no longer part of the estate equation? It's going to happen. There again, where we all have mortality facing us. What happens if it happens sooner than we're prepared for? So our clients in a business situation, they need to plan for that death occurrence for all of the owners. There again, I see a lot of people will focus on, oh, what happens if the older partner dies? Well, what happens if the younger partner dies? Is the older partner ready to take on those responsibilities? So it's making sure that we address that. We can use life insurance to help cover some of those costs. There again, it's something that can be addressed. I think that one of the harder ones to deal with is disability. There again, we have to define what that disability is. And typically what I like to see is a definition. It's a disability that keeps that owner from performing the tasks required in the business. So think about this. Let's say you've got a business owner that's an absentee owner. And I've had owners of businesses, they haven't been in part of that business for the last 10 plus years. If they become disabled, doesn't hurt the business, doesn't create any problems at the office. However, if they become disabled, now what? What if they are part of the business? They're an active owner and employee of the business. They're involved with managing a large portion of the business. Well, if they become disabled, now who steps into that place? But I also look at that as the partner, the non-disabled partner. Well, if my partner becomes disabled, most likely I would like to buy them out now sooner so that I can bring in potentially investors or another owner that can pick up the slack on the part of the business that the disabled partner was responsible for managing. So one, we have to define what that looks like. There again, are they part of the active day-to-day part of the business? Are they an absentee owner? That's going to drive a lot of this, but we need to protect the business. If we've got an active owner partner here, we need to make sure that we address disability. The next one is divorce. Now, divorce is something that we need to have in those buy-sell agreements, because what happens if, that ownership interest goes to a spouse in a divorce? There again, may be a non-issue. But if let's say we've got 50-50 owners, they're both actively managing this business. Partner one goes through a divorce and that partner's spouse receives that interest or a part of that interest of the company. Now we potentially have an inactive partner that owns a portion of the company. There again, it can be a problem. We just have to first take a step back. Is it a problem that will affect the day-to-day business? Do we have absentee owners that are just, clipping coupons each month? There again, how will divorce affect this business? And understand, we work with a lot of clients in community property states. So you may say, well, the two business owners, their names on the stock or the ownership interest. However, the spouse may have a community property interest. We just want to make sure we have that addressed. Next, what if there's a disagreement between the partners? And we see this happen a lot. And some of these disagreements are minor, and I've dealt with clients in the past that they have disagreements in their business every single day. That's just the chaos they're used to living in, and they've figured out how to work it through. But what if you get to a disagreement that is going to blow up the business? How do we want that to be affected? What if we have a partner that just won't help make decisions? And this can become a problem, especially if you think about this, and I've dealt with this, a corporation that is owned 50-50. Well, in every corporate document, it says you need at least a majority in interest to make decisions. Well, if it's 50-50, how do we break that tie? How do we break that tie without blowing up the business? So we need to address that, how to handle a disagreement, not only in the business transition area, but also in day-to-day. How do we get past those disagreements that could be minor, but could be a huge problem that will affect the overall performance of the company? Finally, we get to the distress. This is one where we saw this, through COVID, financial distress. What if there's a financial distress on that business and they need a cash infusion to keep it going? But one partner wants to put up capital and is okay doing that. The other partner refuses. How do you overcome that to where we can, put the company first, bring in capital, be able to get past those financial issues so that the company can survive? Or do the agreements allow one to put in more capital and then get a bigger stake in the company versus the one that doesn't want to put anything in? And, there again, we have to address how to overcome that distress. All of these 5 Ds of unplanned business exit, these really are issues that can face every company, and we just have to be ready to address them. We have buy-sell agreements for a reason. These are a backstop to protect the company, protect the owners, and protect the employees. So we have tools to fix these programs, but the business owners need to know what those options are, and they need to start planning now so the transition happens when they want, happens how they want, and more importantly, I think in a lot of these situations, we understand how the financial buyout is going to take place, and we can start planning ahead. So all of these issues are going to affect all of our business owner clients. So the more we can get in with our clients, the more we can start these conversations now, the better off they're going to be. I appreciate everybody getting on, and we'll talk again next week. Thank you.